Hey, what's going on? It's Ryan Stewman again. The reason why you're seeing this video in your newsfeed is because I promised you in the last video that you would get the next level. So in the last video where I did the live stream, I talked about being the attractive character, right? What it's like to be the correlation between a natural handshake, meeting somebody, looking them in the eyes and shaking their hand, versus having that same correlation online when somebody shows up to your profile, it being the same as you shake their hand, look them in the eye. We talked about the things that people ask when you meet people, which is what's your name, what do you do for a living, where do you live? So your profile needs to represent that. Hopefully you watched the entire last video is the reason why you're seeing this, and I want to take it in a little bit deeper. So we talked about how your profile should look on the surface. Let's talk about the posting process that you're doing. So here's the first thing you have to ask yourself: who am I posting for? So a lot of people, they just get on social media and they just spew stuff everywhere, and they have no strategy and no intent. But here's the good news. Most people don't have strategy intent, which means that when you start being strategic, that's a little word I made up there, strategic, and then you put some intention behind what you're doing online, it'll put you light years ahead of the competition. It'll put you light years ahead of the people who aren't intentional and who aren't strategic. And today, in this video, I'm going to train you how to be strategic. But first, it starts with knowing who are you posting for. So the first thing you got to think of is, who is your ideal client? It's nice to be on sites like Facebook and Instagram and look at pictures of other people's kids and share pictures of your kids or your cars or your house or, God forbid, whatever you eat for breakfast or lunch that people take pictures of and things of that nature, right? But the truth is, that's probably not what your prospect cares about. I hate to tell you this, and I'm saying this from experience, but they probably don't care about you. You probably don't care to know what I'm doing. You're watching this video right now so that you can get some information that you can go out and implement and get leads from and make sales from and everything else, right? Because I am very intentional about who my perfect client is and very intentional about who I am posting for. So you have to think the same thing. Who is it that you want to attract on your profile? Is it your family? Is it your friends? Yeah, possibly. They're going to hang out, and if they're ride or die, they're going to be with you regardless of what you're posting on there. But you want to put yourself in a position to shake hands with the best people possible, and when you shake hands with them, to give that first impression by posting stuff that they'll engage on. Nothing's better than somebody going to your Facebook page, seeing what you do for a living, seeing where you're from, right? Seeing a picture of you and then looking at your newsfeed and seeing that you're putting all sorts of engaging and interesting stuff out there. If you go to my personal profile, it's facebook.com/real Ryan Stewman, you'll see that I get hundreds of comments and likes on every single post I make because I know who I'm posting for. I'm posting for the guy that's a salesman. I'm posting for the lady that's a business owner. I'm posting for the entrepreneurs, the coaches, the marketer, the salespeople, the sales leaders, the general managers. I'm posting things that I think they would want to see, things that are motivational, things that are educational, things that are inspirational, things that are hilarious, right? Things that they'll be interested in. I'm not here on social media to post for myself. I'm posting for my audience. So you have to ask yourself, who are you posting for? Now, I recommend after you get done watching this video, you take a few minutes to describe who your perfect prospect is, what their 5 biggest problems are, and how your product can solve those 5 big problems for them, and what kind of content they engage on. And if you don't know your perfect customer, if like you're not inside the head of the perfect prospect for you, then bad news, somebody else is going to be, right? Good news is you can go to what pages you think they might like. If you are if your perfect client is a dentist, then you can go to pages like the American Dental Association and see what they're posting and see what they're talking about and see what dentists are engaging on there. If your perfect prospect is a business owner, you can go to the small business page or Gary Vaynerchuk's page or Tony Robbins' page, and you can see what kind of stuff that they're engaging there as entrepreneurs and business owners, so that you can't copy it, you can't steal and swipe what they're saying, but so that you can get a feel for the conversation that needs to be held. So first you got to identify who you're posting for so that you can be the attractive character that pulls them, gravitationally pulls them towards you and makes them want to consume your content, engage on your post, and be your friend, right? Because people buy from people they know, like, and trust. In order for them to know you, You have to put content out there that is going to be rewarding for them to consume so that they can start knowing you and start that familiarity process, deciding whether they like and trust you, and ultimately, if everything goes perfect, end up buying from you. Now, in my lifetime, I've had the pleasure of working with and learning from guys like Frank Kern, Frederick Eklund, Ed Milet, Andy Frisella, David Goggins, Russell Brunson. The list goes on and on and on. And if you look at these guys' profiles, they all basically have the same setup. They are posting for their audience, not for themselves. If you go to any of those guys' pages, and they all have huge followings, by the way, the thing that they're doing is they're posting for their target audience. You can simply mirror that. Now, you don't want to steal their information. You don't want to copy their post or try to be like them. You want to be yourself, but you want to be yourself in a way that portrays something of value to the people who are looking at your post. It's not hard. You can go out there and get ideas from other business owners and other influencers and people like me, and take our ideas, put your own spin on it, and use it for yourself to attract the perfect customer that you want to attract. But there's a method to the algorithm on Facebook. And now I'm going to give you, this works for Instagram and YouTube as well, but we're going to specifically talk about Facebook. There's a method to making sure the algorithm recognizes your post and puts it in the news feed of as many people as possible. That way, as many people as possible can know you and decide whether they like and trust and ultimately want to buy from you. So we call this M3, or the media marketing method. Okay? M3. And so if you think about it in media, when you read let's go back, let's take it way back to the beginning. When you read a newspaper, it's about 80% content, articles, things that you're interested in, and about 20% advertising. If you read a magazine, it's the same thing. It's about 80% articles and things that you're interested in, and 20% advertisements. That's how they pay the bills. If you go to the front page of Google, about 20% is advertising. The rest of it is organic results. If you look in the news feed of any social media network, about 80% of it is posts from people you know, like, and love and follow. And then 20% of it is ads from people like this one getting in front of you, offering you something of value, right? Or just offering you some BS. You never know what you're going to get into. But this is called the media marketing method. If you watch TV for 13 minutes, they'll give you 4 minutes of commercial. If you listen to the radio for 21 minutes, they'll give you 6 minutes of commercial. There's an 80-20 rule when it comes to content in the media. Now, we're on social media. We're here on Facebook, so we should follow this same media. If the company that's worth $300 billion has nailed down the process in their news feed, right? 4 or 5 posts from your friends, 1 post for an advertisement, then why wouldn't you do the same thing on your profile? Because listen, success leaves clues. And all you have to do is reach down and pick up the clues, put them inside your brain, and implement the things that you've learned. And so if we know that the platform that we're on, the owners of the platform we're on, follow this process, why wouldn't we do the same thing on our independent media channel, aka our profile page? Think about this for a second. Your Facebook page is a media channel, nothing more, nothing less. It's a channel for you to be able to put out the media to attract people in, for them to be able to consume it. Now, if you follow the 80-20 rule, you'll be fitting right in with every other media thing, and most people are indoctrinated in this process anyway. Ever since we were a kid, we've learned commercials were on TV. Ever since we were a baby, we knew that there were commercials on radio, or there was even, at one point, I'm sure there's gonna be commercials that pop up inside of baby books, right? Like, we've been indoctrinated with advertisements. Matter of fact, 4,000 a day, the average American sees, 4,000 advertisements per day, but they follow this 80-20 rule. Imagine if you logged onto Facebook and all it was advertisements. Unless you're a weirdo ad junkie like I am, you're going to log out of there faster than Flash Gordon, right? You're going to be able to get out of there quick, right? What if you logged onto Instagram and it was all advertisements? You wouldn't even log into the site anymore. So the same thing happens for your profile. If somebody goes to your profile and it's all advertisements, all offers, here, I can sell you this, I can sell you this, I can sell you this, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. Nobody's going to be interested in that. Who are you posting for? So let's follow the media marketing method. It's 4 posts for them, 1 post for you. This pays the bills right here. This builds the brand, okay? And so 4 posts for them. So if we know who we're posting for, then we're gonna make 4 posts for them. Now, I'm not talking about 4 posts in a row, like bam, 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 and then you put a bunch of content out on Facebook. Let's say that you make 2 or 3 posts a day. So on Monday, you make 2 posts. On Tuesday, you make 2 more posts, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. All right, let's start all over. Say Monday, you make a post, 1 in the morning, 1 in the late evening. On Tuesday, you put a post mid-morning and mid-afternoon. On Wednesday, when you go to put 2 more posts, one of those posts, specifically in the afternoon for my business, should be an offer. By the way, I just sold this house if you'd like for me to list yours. By the way, I just sold this car if you'd like for me to list yours. By the way, our business is growing and we're looking for people that fit XYZ mold. Making offers 1 out of every 5 or so posts is really the way to get things to work. You see, most people, you go and they never make an offer and they go, well, I don't know why I'm not making money from social media. You've got to slide the ads in there, right? And you can even do subliminal advertising. Like when you see an ad on Facebook, think about it. It doesn't always necessarily look like an ad. Matter of fact, the only thing that lets you know it's an ad is it says sponsored under the page that's running the ad. That's how we identify it as an ad. If it didn't say that, we wouldn't even know it was an ad. Matter of fact, they had to add that into the ads because people didn't know they were ads and they were clicking on stuff and wondering how people got their information and everything else, right? So 4 posts for them, 1 post for you. And that 1 post doesn't have to be just, hey, here I am, buy what I sell, right? That 1 post needs to be something that's a story, something that's engaging. Tell a story about a prospect that you helped and the results that you got for them. Tell a story about some struggles that you've been through and the things that you learned to overcome it. Those offers don't just have to be blatant offers. They can be stories with embedded offers in them. I recommend learning to get better at writing. This world is becoming a text, email, social media, and DM world. We're talking less and less on the phone every single year. If you've noticed, most people's phone bills are going up because not as many people are using phones. Not for phone calls, rather. They're using them for text messages. They're using them for emails. They're using them for social media and everything else. So you got to get good at writing. So if you tell yourself, oh man, I'm not good at writing, that's an excuse. We have a saying, FYE, around here about excuses. You can look it up and figure it out. They won't let me cuss in this video. But excuses are useless, right? You have to learn a new skill, and it's like anything else. It might be difficult at first, but the more that you practice it, the better you get. I'm a guy with an 8th grade education, but with 9 best-selling books, right? Writing wasn't my thing. It was not easy in the beginning, but I kept doing it, and I kept trying it. The more that certain things got engagement, the more I started that writing style. I learned. I read books. I read copywriting books by John Carlton and Dan Kennedy. I attended seminars so that I could get better at writing and communicating, because if you listen to my voice right now and then you read the words that I write on my posts, they link up. The same way that I talk now is the same exact way that I write. It doesn't have to be all fancy like 70 years ago. It doesn't have to be a bunch of fancy Shakespearean, Ivy League educated sounding stuff. You just need to talk to people how you are. Represent yourself as the brand. So from now on, when you make posts on your page, 2 things. Who are you posting for? And you're not posting for yourself, your friends, or family. You're intentional. You're laser focused on attracting the right prospects. If you go and you comment on this post, which I highly recommend, and then somebody else replies to it and you two become friends, it's because they went to your profile and they looked and saw the things that you put there and saw all the public stuff that we talked about in the previous video, and they made a decision that now they know you and like you. So then you start building the trust, which is the next phase. So I highly recommend that you start following the 80-20 rule, the M3, the media marketing method, and make 4 or 5 posts for them, the people you're posting for, and 1 post that's an embedded subliminal offer to them that tells a story so that they'll be attracted to you to reach out in the DM and say, hey, I read that post, man. Do you think you can do that for me? Or, hey, I read that post and it really resonated with me. I wanted to share my story with you. These are buying signs, people reaching out to you that you can follow. So now the key is, now that you know this stuff, it's time for you to take action and make it happen. I'm going to be retargeting you one more time now that you're at the end of this video with another video that's going to have even more education. We're going to take it 1 layer deeper. So make sure that you look in the next couple of days through your news feed for another one of these sponsored stories to show up where I'm sharing more information like this. Thanks for watching. Make sure you share this with somebody who could use it. If you didn't watch the other video, make sure you go over to the Hardcore Closer fan page and watch the most recent live video that I streamed on there about becoming the attractive character. Later.